Happy Thanksgiving from Vietnam Animal Aid and Rescue in Hoi An, Vietnam. And today is American Thanksgiving. And as an American who frankly hasn't actually celebrated the holiday in many years, I'm actually going to do it this year. And I'm going to be with some other Americans that are vegans and some other non-Americans, either vegans or will be freaking eating vegan today. And I am making, I gotta show you what I'm making, okay. So this is cranberry sauce. Okay, but let me help you out with what this cranberry sauce is really like. Let me get you out of the kitchen cabinet. Okay, this is the secret ingredient. It's port wine, yeah? So basically I got a bunch of dried cranberries because this is Vietnam, we don't have fresh cranberries or even frozen cranberries. And I threw it in a pot with a shit ton of alcohol, some brown sugar. I got mandarin orange pieces and apples. It's the first time I've done that this year. And basically I just get to get a little jacked off the fumes coming off and have a little sippity sip just to make sure that the port's good. And I should point out that it should be sherry. Yeah, but I have to improvise, which is why I have to check it. Anyway, so the point is 46 million turkeys are killed in the United States today. Not today, but for this particular day. That's absurd. And for all of you who are really into animal welfare laws, please be aware that none of these animals actually fall under any of those regulations in the United States because poultry don't get protected for shit. So this is something that I have participated in many, many times in my life. I used to love Thanksgiving. I used to go from house to house to house. I very rarely spent it with my parents in the U.S. And so, you know, by the end of the day, I would have had 3 different turkeys. And I also want to very importantly point out that I actually used to work for the National Turkey Federation, which is a trade industry organization in Washington, D.C., about 4 blocks from the White House, or at least it was 15 years ago. And my job was to work in the marketing department. I actually was, my job, a little different than now, was to promote Americans eating more turkey. Yeah, that was my job. That was right out of university, right before I ran away to Kosovo and left the country permanently forever, because I realized that life was slightly different and ever so more amazing elsewhere. So, I was the enemy. I was one of those people trying to get one of the 46 million turkeys murdered for somebody's plate today. And I'm really happy that I found another way to celebrate Thanksgiving. So today, I am very thankful. I'm thankful that I've had such amazing people that have come through the organization. And frankly, I'm thankful that I survived the ones that weren't amazing, because there's been those too. I'm grateful for all the animals that we've been able to help over the years. I'm grateful for all of those of you who've made that possible, because this isn't that easy. And it certainly isn't cheap. And none of that comes without donations. So I greatly appreciate that. I'm kind of fascinated by this process of watching dried cranberries turn into something that looks like a cranberry that eventually is going to turn into something like a sauce. I don't know. Anyway, the whole point is that it's just absolutely chock full of alcohol, which is burning off anyway, so let's all relax. I guess the point is, if I can change, anybody else can. I hated vegans. I wanted to put them on an island and napalm them. Yeah, I didn't really like, I wouldn't have been in a room with one, frankly. I can't imagine where I would have found one in my life. I rode horses for a living and, studied international politics when I was in the States. And yeah, I can't imagine anybody being an actual animal rights activist in my midst. I have no idea where I would have run into one. So when I left the country, I just kept going. I was 26 when I started traveling and just kind of forgot to stop. That's when I learned about veganism. That's when I met other vegans, because you're not going to find it within the echo chamber, which is the equestrian world for sure. Nobody's going to be able to tell you what you're doing is wrong, because you're inside a group of people that continues to exploit animals while at the same time believing and telling each other that they also love them very much, which is horseshit. So anyway, I'm really glad to be out of that, and to be able to see what my actions are in the world against animals. Yeah, you acknowledge that you've participated in animal cruelty. You stop doing it. It's actually not rocket science. So I highly recommend it. A little for me, a little for the cranberries, right? A little more for the cranberries. It wasn't all for me. Anyway, that's not the point. They're gonna be wasted. These cranberries are shit-faced. Anyway, I got a lot of work to do, but I just wanted to say happy Thanksgiving to everyone. And please read the blog. I understand that there's a tiny bit of profanity in there because I am a tiny bit vulgar at times. And the animals don't seem to mind all that much. So, and when I'm writing a blog post, it's because there's some sort of like emotional driver to it. And when there is, that generally involves a certain amount of expletives. Anyway, if that's a problem with you, if you for some reason think that's unprofessional, then I just don't really have any fucks to give. Anyway, happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the United States. I will be there in less than a week. I've been working on my import permit for Nori, and I've got the 4 cats ready to go. We've got to do all of our paperwork, of course. Still, I've got to pick that up in Da Nang, and I've got a bunch of things to sign and all of this blah, blah, blah. And we basically have to get about $5,000 in the next, how many days? What's today? 27, 28? I don't even know what the date is today, but we need to get enough money to pay for all the animals that still are here, and make sure we have at least $1,800 in the US bank account in order to pay at the airport, which we've got about 100 right now, so let's work on that. And we've got to get 2 cats adopted. Let's not forget that. But we also have to pay salaries for our 4 very hardworking full-time staff. And we've got to coordinate all this stuff when I get on the ground. Yeah, I'm also very interested in talking to any of our supporters that are in the United States and have potentially maybe the ability to say hi, grab dinner, grab a coffee, or give me an opportunity to give a presentation about the work that we do in Vietnam, particularly related to animal rights and the complete lack of veterinary infrastructure and the inability of the rescue and sheltering community to address that. Yeah. You can read more about that on my blog. I am a rather outspoken vegan. I'm not going to call myself militant because that makes it sound like there's something militant about not murdering anyone and talking about that. So we're not going to go there. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to keep getting my cranberries real drunk until they puff up and turn into cranberry sauce. And I wish you all a very, very merry Thanksgiving, and I wish you all luck sitting at the table with a lot of people you probably don't agree with or even personally like. I did have many American Thanksgivings, and I know exactly what that's like. So I will also be visiting my parents for the first time in 3 years. So who knows who's going to get murdered? But we'll be fine. Everything's fine. I hope to see some of you in the United States, someplace, ideally the Southeast, maybe Texas, California, and New England, if possible, or somewhere in between any of that. So let me know. Florida as well, going to be on the coast of Florida, and then I will fly out to the UK from Florida. So anyway, thank you everybody. Please, please, please donate. We got to get these animals out of here. Its shelter is closing, and we need to focus 100% on veterinary capacity building projects and mass sterilization, veterinary training, and of course, animal rights advocacy. Thank you. Bye.